Welcome everybody to Cult of Collectors. I guess tonight we're going to talk about a little bit of Ghostbusters Afterlife and be talking physical media. And with me, as usual, is Charlie from Raging Entertainment. I'm
Yes.
John from Kentucky Fried Movies and Toy Collector.
Yep.
So what's going on this week, Charlie?
Nothing. I think the only recent buys that I've done, of course, was the Adams Family 4K. So I'm waiting on that one. And then I was able to find an out of print movie, brand new, called SLC Punk. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Yeah, I have it on DVD. Yeah,
yeah, it's only DVD. It doesn't even have a Blu-ray.
yeah, yeah. That's a pretty good movie. Pretty interesting.
Oh, I know. Like
Yeah,
for the longest time, I didn't know what SLC stood for, Salt Lake City.
yeah. I
So
think that's
that
why it's
was
supposed to be kind of a joke. Salt Lake City punks.
Yeah, because of
With
the whole, like,
Mormon.
I think Mormonism is very big
Yeah.
over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had a girlfriend who was from Salt Lake City. I actually went out there and helped her move back, and I think it's just a big city, so they have they have a little bit of everybody. But when that movie was made, I don't know how big Salt Lake City wasn't near as big as it's grown a lot in the last 20 years. So in the
Yeah.
'90s, it wasn't near as big. It was still probably a medium sized city at that point in time. So it's got pretty big.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful country out there. I like personally like it coming from the east where you see trees all the time. Most people from out in, well, I guess that's your neck of the woods out in there. So you don't know.
California.
So
Yeah.
you're probably sick of seeing the desert, like
Well, it's
desert.
funny because where I live is not necessarily desert, you know. It's flat land, don't get me wrong, but it's not necessarily desert, but it does get extremely hot where I live.
Yeah.
But
Is it where you're at? Is it closer to like the Sierras, or is it closer to what's it close to?
well, I know where I live is in between the city of Bakersfield and Fresno. And I think, like, say, a drive to Nevada is like maybe 6 to 7 hours, depending on what route you go.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool.
So
And
so
since I
you're
use
kind of
my,
north.
sorry, go
You're
ahead.
kind of you're kind of north of. You're like north. You're northeast of Los Angeles, right?
Something like that.
Considerably
Yeah, I
northeast,
would
something
say
like that.
I'm
Yeah.
definitely north from Los Angeles. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ken apparently just messaged me on Instagram. I don't want to chance it and go read it because I don't want to get knocked out of here.
Oh,
But
okay.
um, if you're able to check your messages while, because he said, "Sorry, man, just something," and of course I couldn't read the whole thing.
Okay. Hey, he didn't send me anything yet, not yet. So
Okay, I'm gonna chance it. If I accidentally go away, I apologize. Let me see if
okay.
I can do this. Shit. Nope. Oh,
But
you can still hear me. Okay, good.
yeah, yeah.
So he's saying, like, sorry, man, I'm just getting out of work and have around a 30-minute trip home. Don't think I can make it. Crap.
Well, I mean, to be perfectly honest, he can come in whenever he wants, unless he just doesn't. He doesn't feel like doing it, so it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna message him and just let him know that you can come in anytime.
No.
You.
So anybody out there in the chat right now, I need to pull the chat up in case somebody comes up. But um, if anybody in the chat right now is seeing Ghostbusters, you can join in our conversation here in a little bit when we start talking about it. We'll probably talk a little physical media for a little while. But I did find out some news today about the Citizen Kane 4K. Mike, my other buddy, we do live streams with. He sent me a message earlier saying that the Citizen Kane 4K would be. I don't know if it's going to get delayed, but it's going to be. Going to be a recall on it because apparently the 4K disc is fine with it, but the Blu-ray that comes with it is something's messed up with it. So
Oh, really?
yeah, there's some kind of there's a transfer issue actually. That I went and read about it that little article he sent me. It says something about like the movie's fine until about halfway's in, and then all of a sudden, like it's like it's black and white, so it's good and crisp black and white about halfway's in, and then all of a sudden it gets like washed out or something. It's like something happened during the encoding process or something. So it don't matter to me because I already have it on Blu-ray, and I'm sure it's the new transfer for the Blu-ray, but I'm not too concerned.
Hmm.
I just pre-ordered mine from Amazon, so if they go ahead and send it, if they offer a replacement disc, I'll send in and get it. But I'm not too concerned as long as the special features work, because the special features is really what I'm after with the new Criterion set, and just basically to
Yeah.
own. I guess it's technically going to be the second 4K Criterion. The first was Mulholland Drive, I would assume, but
I know I saw, I think who was it? HD Movie Source. I think it was him that had a picture that he had a copy or something like that. It could have been someone else though too. I can't remember who it was, but believe it was him. And but when it comes to the Criterion 4Ks, I only got one from the pre-order, and that's the Menace to Society.
yeah,
Because I enjoy that movie, even though it's a sad movie, but it's a good movie. Um,
yeah,
I seem to like those types of movies, where the struggles in the streets and stuff like that, with like say Boys in the Hood.
yeah.
Um, really enjoy that movie. A movie called Higher Learning, Do the Right Thing, Poetic Justice. I like those types of movies, and Menace to Society happens to be one of those. And another one that I don't have that I would like to get, and hopefully they'll put it on 4K, is called I think it's called South Central.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, I don't know what I mean I'm definitely a big Citizen Kane fan. I still have one of them sitting here.
And I might get Citizen Kane.
This is the original DVD, but
Oh, okay.
and I've got it on Laserdisc and every format. I've got the I don't think it's sitting over here now. I put it up, but I have the Blu-ray, which I didn't realize the Blu-ray special edition and the DVD special edition, it was the exact same box set. Not the
Uh-huh.
one I showed you. That was the kind of the there's like been 2 or 3 releases, but they released like a 60th or 70th anniversary edition. And yeah, it's 70th anniversary, and the box is exactly the same. It's kind of weird, but I got the
Yeah.
Blu-ray, so. But what else are you looking forward to right now?
Um, well, physical release wise, I'm excited that Roger Rabbit is coming to 4K. I plan on pre-ordering it. It just now became available for pre-order again on Best Buy, so I'm gonna try to jump on that as quick as I can. Um, can't guarantee anything, but that's one that I'm excited for. Excuse me. What else was there that I'm looking forward to? I mean, there's a lot of titles that I'm really wanting to get. Some that are already out that I haven't gotten yet either, like the Mad Max films, because I have the first one, and then I have Fury Road, and I thought about possibly just getting the set and then sell the ones that are just the individuals that I have.
Just trying to see if I could get to it easy. I have one of the Mad Max sets. I think it's a trilogy. I don't. It didn't
Mm-hmm.
have but I have I have that last one on Steelbook, I do believe, but I don't think I'm gonna buy the Steelbook set. I'm not that enthused about. I like the Mad Max stuff, but I don't think I'm interested in the
Well,
Steelbook.
there is a Mad Max anthology 4 movie pack, and it's not steelbooks,
Yeah.
so they have
Well,
that.
yeah, I don't know if I'm interested even buying it like that at all. But in 4K, it just doesn't really matter that much to me. It's one of those. But that
Mm-hmm.
Roger Rabbit, I'll definitely look into pre-ordering that because I wouldn't mind to have that on Steelbook 4K.
Oh yeah, same here. I definitely would like the
Yeah,
steelbook. And don't get me wrong, the regular, slipcover one looks nice too. But if I'm gonna own Roger Rabbit, I think I would probably prefer the steelbook.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Have you seen anything else in the theaters?
So the only movies that I've seen in the theaters lately, mainly been three movies, literally. Like Boss Baby Back in Business was the first one, and then the second was Let There Be Carnage, and then the most recent, of course, was Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Okay.
And I got to see an early screening of it because apparently for the rewards members, you were able to see it like a day or two early before it was actually released, basically.
That's pretty cool. Who are you a rewards member with?
It's called Galaxy Theaters.
Oh, okay. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed it. I mean, I know they're not like, say, as famous as like, say, AMC or what is another one? Like Cinemark or whatever it is, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't yeah, we have a company actually like we got a theater, we got Cinemarks, mostly Cinemarks around here, but we got the theater I like is Regal. But
Regal's, we have a Regal out here.
Oh, okay. Because some places it's a different name. I think it's Tinseltown in some areas, and it's just it's regional, whatever its name. So I like going there because they actually have an IMAX. It's not really a full blown IMAX screen, but it's a much bigger, and so I go see IMAX there.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't see Ghostbusters in IMAX, and I don't think it was necessarily supposed to be an IMAX movie.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely don't. I'm pretty sure it was definitely not filmed with IMAX for sure. But
I stayed throughout the whole movie, like throughout the credits, and it did say that it was shot in IMAX as well.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, I saw that part.
I actually don't think they're shot in IMAX, but they have maybe some kind of transform over to IMAX film or something
well, I'm not sure. I just know that format. It had it on the credit part.
Yeah. Well, it'll always have it if they played it on an IMAX screen. But some movies are actually shot with IMAX cameras, which are a much bigger camera and bigger film. It used to be that big, gigantic, like 70 millimeter film, but it's probably done digitally now. So,
oh, most likely. Did you stay throughout the credits?
I stayed till the Sigourney Weaver.
So you saw that. So there is another scene after all the credits.
Is there? Well, I wasn't sure. I didn't really care too much. But what's the other scene?
Well, since the movie's now out, so anybody watching, fair warning right now, if you haven't, you might want to plug your ears or whatever. But basically, Winston and Janine are talking basically about their success, this and that, and how Ghostbusters meant something to them, and how it, just became basically an empty building. But there's a part in the movie where Ray said, oh, it's a Starbucks now, basically. But at the end, you see it all abandoned and everything. So that kind of threw me off a little bit. But Winston bought the building again as if he was going to revive the Ghostbusters, space again.
Well, he says that in the movie. He's looking at Ecto-1 and he said, "What did they do to you?"
Yeah. He hinted right there. Yeah.
I'm going to have to take you back and clean you up.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever cry at movies, but I teared up during Egon, the ending.
Yeah, I didn't tear up,
but you were happy to see him.
Yeah. I'm glad they did that. Actually, I don't think any of that got rumored really. But I kind of figured they might do something like that. That he might be like a ghost in there since he had died in real life. They may go with that. They may use that angle. So.
Oh yeah.
So it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. I guess since we're talking about it, I guess my overall impressions of the movie, it's really fun. It's really good. I highly enjoyed it. Of course, since it's since it is definitely essentially part of a trilogy, and I would consider it part of the trilogy. 2016 has nothing to do. 2016 was meant to be a reboot. Period. It's not part of the.
In a way, it was meant to basically give it a new look. Even though they had Bill Murray, Sigourney, and Ernie Hudson in the movie.
Yeah, but they didn't really do anything in it,
No, and they
So
weren't Ghostbusters. They were just different
yeah,
characters.
yeah,
So, yeah, no, I was really happy with Afterlife. I was actually glad that they finally finished the story, so to speak, you know?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's some of the negative press I've heard about it. Is people are kind of saying it's almost like the Star Wars. It kind of has it follows the same beat as the first movie, but I would disagree. It does have Gozer in it, and the gatekeeper and keymaster,
Oh, yeah.
but it's not doing the same thing as the first movie. The story's completely original. It's a follow up of those characters, and it's kind of gives you more of a backstory of Gozer and kind of
A little bit more,
gives him
yeah.
more meaning. You get a little more meaning to the Gozer character and kind of more of an ends to that character as well. So
And you get to see Ivo Shandor, the guy who,
yeah,
built all that stuff.
yeah,
So that was kind of cool to see because I didn't expect to see him in the movie.
yeah,
Yeah, so that kind of threw me off. And yeah, because in my opinion, it was like just a very big homage to the first movie.
yeah,
Like Ghostbusters wouldn't be where it is today if it wasn't for, this movie, basically, the very first one. And the fact that Ivan Reitman's son is the one who directed it,
hmm
you
yeah,
kept it in the family.
yeah. And somebody else said this, but I never did think much about it. But it kind of his style, Jason Reitman's style, is kind of smaller movies, indie movies, and
Mm-hmm.
this is kind of a small Ghostbusters movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's not real big in scope. It's pretty much keeps the locations and the sets pretty small for the movie, and which I liked it. I think it worked,
Oh yeah.
especially since another thing brought up is also kind of always the heart of Ghostbusters was New York City and how they
Oh yeah.
took it out of New York City, but I think it still worked,
Oh
especially
yeah,
with
definitely.
Igor Shandor. That character having his connection to New York City and to
Ohio.
it was Illinois, wasn't it?
No, where they were, it was the state of Ohio in the
You
Afterlife
sure?
movie.
I thought it was Illinois. It was, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, it was interesting. I I have some things that I didn't care much. There's the movie itself, everything's good, but the
Mm-hmm.
things I have a problem with is mainly I had to kind of think about it a little bit, which scenes that I didn't like so much. And but what I'm getting at is my problems with it is like the coverage of the movie, and generally coverage is just it can be, I guess, in the dialogue as well, but coverage is usually visual. It's a visual link to between scenes, or it's a way to move the scene along, or it's things to add detail to a scene. And I
Mm-hmm.
think some of the coverage is missing. And actually, somebody I usually like listen to reviews. I didn't care much for one part of his review that he talked about how he thought the middle of the movie was too long, and like another issue I have with the movie is the pacing of the movie. I feel like the
Mm-hmm.
beginning, the first third of the movie to well, probably the first half of the movie is kind of slow. I think it moves a little slow, and then like the second half it just slams into it goes from first to overdrive, and then it's just flies to the end.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is some in when it kind of shifts gears in that middle. I think some of the middle section, that middle act, needed to be longer. I think there's need to be some of the scenes were not thoroughly explained and how they got to reach the point. Like one of the scenes that it was the whole scene where he was first driving the Ecto one, and then he comes
Mm-hmm.
and pick. It's like right after the scene where they've been out shooting whenever they were trying out the proton pack in
Yeah.
the field, and then they went and about caught the
Muncher.
Slimer, yeah, Muncher, yeah. They about caught him, and then the next scene he picks them up in the on the road, And
Uh-huh.
then all of a sudden it basically just kind of slams into high gear. That's when the movie slams into high gear at
Hmm.
that point, and then there's no like exposition explaining like the iPod, was his name iPod? No,
No, podcast.
podcast. Podcast picks up the podcast picks up that little remote control car and stuff, and none of that stuff's really explained. I'm not saying it doesn't have to be explained because it's kind of self-explanatory, but things just kind of happen without really any explanation, really
Yeah.
fast, and
Like
that
how do I do that? Yeah.
or how did they get here, and like without and basically, what is the guy from Stranger Things,
Oh, Finn
the kid,
Wolfhard.
yeah, like his character, like he just picks them up in the Ecto One without really any context
Experience.
or yeah, context of what they're doing, and then he drives them into town, and he just kind of he basically doesn't have to. It doesn't really take a whole lot for him to be convinced that there's ghosts or something. It doesn't freak him out. So there's just a little bit of just a little bit of things like that. The coverage in the movie that kind of
Can you give me 1 second? My girlfriend was trying to tell
yeah,
me something. Okay.
that's no problem. Go ahead.
What's up?
So Candy, Chevron,
Mhm.
she says the best opportunity for you tomorrow when you're up
Hmm.
is to call the Acre store, AKER,
Yeah, I have it in my phone.
and ask for him.
Mhm.
He's usually around 9.
I know.
And I let her know.
Yeah.
And she was like, "That's so cool." She's so excited. Like, yay! She'll look out for you.
Cool.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Sorry about that, because I've been trying to look for a full-time job and not have part-time jobs basically, and I had applied for the Chevron gas station place, and they need someone who's able to get to all locations, and I have a truck, so
Yep.
been wondering when they want me to start this and that, so I'm gonna call tomorrow because they said that they wanted to bring me on, they just haven't scheduled me yet.
That's cool. I worked for a Chevron a long time ago out of high school, but
Really?
but I didn't do nothing for them. I just was cashier.
Oh, you
It was
basically
kind of
just
one of
stayed at
those
the yeah.
kind of one of those first job situations. They actually had a garage there, but all the guy did was the guy that mainly was kind of the manager. He just changed tires. That's all he did. He didn't really do mechanic work. So,
Mhm.
but but yeah, it's kind of a first job situation, Chevron. When I was
Yeah,
going
because
to
I don't
school.
know if you remember where I said I work now,
Yeah,
but I work big lots, so
yeah,
um, yeah, and they're part time only. They don't really hire for full time unless you're, I guess you could say, what's it called when you've been there for years, like tenure or something like that.
yeah. That's kind of crazy,
Yeah, you
especially
have
if
to be
you're
part time.
especially if you've been there a while since you're a pretty good worker. That's kind of crazy. But seem like if they see somebody who's dedicated and know that they're going to stay, it's been there for a year or two, that's you think they would just go ahead and like promote them up to full time.
You would think,
Trust me. Yeah,
but
it's just a money thing.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
don't you have this?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and you did a giveaway for one of these too.
Yeah.
Yeah, up in here, it's warped.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed when I saw that.
Did you get that from me or
No, no, I was
I
not a
give it to
winner.
somebody?
I was hoping to be though, because I was like, I want a new one that's not all bent and shit.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, before we got interrupted there, yeah, I just it's not. I'm not trying to nitpick at it. It's a good movie. It's a fantastic movie. I think
Yeah,
everybody needs to go see Afterlife. But
I agree.
yeah, I just tend to. I think the reason a lot of the things I was talking about with pacing and the coverage is problems I see with a lot of new movies. It's not just this one. I see I don't know if Hollywood just forgot to make some of the filmmakers just don't seem like they know what they're doing too much, or but I mean Jason does because I've seen other movies, and
Yeah.
it almost acts like there's actually existing footage in there that could fill those gaps in, but
Oh yeah.
they were forced to cut it down, so that's what they were left with.
They always are.
Yeah,
They
I mean
always are.
that's happened throughout the years in Hollywood, but it's just I just felt like it was a little choppy. Did you feel like it was a little choppy when it got into kind of the second the third act of the movie?
Um, I don't know. Like, what do you mean by choppy exactly? Just so that way I have an understanding of what you mean.
Um, just kind of the way the story progresses. It kind of
Oh,
it is kind of
you mean it felt rushed
like
almost?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
It was rushed because there wasn't a lot of build up for the gatekeeper and keymaster.
No, there
I
wasn't.
kind of predicted that early on that was going to happen anyways. I predicted that was going to become, Paul Rudd and the mom was going to be those two because they were really the only two figures in the movie that
Mm-hmm.
fit the right age for those characters. So it was a little unexpected that other girl got turned into it. They saved the mom. And see, that was another scene that was kind of missing a little bit of coverage. Was the scene where they go to the mountain where there was the
Uh-huh.
with the ruins or whatever his where Igor was.
Ivor.
But
Ivor.
Ivor, yeah, I'm sorry, Ivor
No, sorry, not
and
Ivor. Evo. Evo Shandor. That's what it was.
Evo Shindo. Okay, but they go to the mountain towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a scene where they save the mom.
Yeah.
And like there for some reason like they just pull up into the Ecto-1 like they pull up right out front of the stairs, and it don't make any sense with the set scene, at least what they had established before, because
Yeah.
they had to go inside it through down through the shaft earlier. Then all of a sudden they just pull up outside with the Ecto-1 and they're outside these steps, which could have been outside, but
Mm-hmm.
it was never established. That's what I'm saying. That's what coverage establishes. It can be established just in one shot.
Oh,
It can be
yeah.
established.
I know what you're
So
saying, yeah, because when Paul Rudd's character, him being possessed and stuff, you didn't see him get up to the mountain or any of that stuff. He was just there.
yeah, yeah. I mean that was not so much a big thing. I mean that's not such a thing, but like other things, things that the later on don't make sense. Like with I don't know the whole. And then, like after they save the mom, there the Ecto-1, he just pulls up and right in front of where they're at, and they take
Yeah.
off. And I'm like, that don't make sense. At least what they had established before, when they had to like go down inside it through the lift system, they had to drop down inside the. So, but all the stuff, but everything else is pretty cool. I like how Egon set up that trap system,
The
the whole
lawn trap, yeah.
yeah, to suppress the the demons or suppress the ghosts from
Ghosts, whatever the fuck
goes
you want to
yeah.
call them. I wonder who it was that played Gozer this time, because it wasn't the same actress in general. So, I mean, she kind of had a familiar look, but I was trying to place the facial features, but I couldn't figure it out. So I'm gonna have to look that up, unless you can look it up.
I've actually got it pulled up right here. Hopefully they have her listed.
You would think.
Yeah.
Well, did you Google or did you go to IMDb?
IMDb.
Okay.
It's not in the main cast here, but it's have to go to all cast and crew here.
I was about to say sometimes you have to hit see full cast.
Yeah. Yeah, well, IMDb does some weird stuff like that.
It does.
They'll have like a really big actor not even listed in
I
their
know.
main cast. It's so bizarre. And I'm not sure if it's in alphabetical. It's not even in alphabetical order, so that only makes sense.
Hmm.
Let's see. Says Spirit of Gozer, Emma Partner. Let me see if that's actually. It has Emma Partner, but it has her standing with another girl in her picture, so I don't know which one is which.
Huh.
Hang on a second here. Let me
Okay.
share my screen. So.
Can you
I don't
enlarge?
Yeah, there's a way.
Excuse me.
Actually, I don't know how to do it. Somebody told me once the keyboard
It's
command
okay.
to do it. It's a
No
keyboard
worries.
command, but I can't remember what it is. I'm bad about that keyboard command.
No
stuff.
worries. No worries.
But I don't know which. It must be this girl here.
Hmm.
Because that right there actually looks like, what's her name? It looks like yeah, she has been married to Elliot Page. It's stupid. Ellen Page. I don't know if that's the same girl or not.
No worries.
I guess that's her. It says that's who she's listed as.
Gozer.
Well, actually, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. No, it says Gozer uncredited as Olivia Wilde.
Uncredited.
Yep.
Huh.
But that's her. It's definitely, if you think about it, that's definitely that the Spirit of Gozer must have been like some voiceover work or something.
Maybe.
Yeah,
I
bet
know
was
that.
her.
I know with E.T., the person who did the voiceover for E.T. was actually a woman, and I did not know that. Hey, you never know. That could have been the same woman for the 1984 Ghostbusters, because, E.T. was 80s, and so was Ghostbusters, so it could have been the same lady for that part. When she says, "Are you a god?"
It's just possible she did the voiceover work.
Yeah, I'd have to look at
I was trying to pull up a picture from the movie of Gozer.
Mm-hmm. May not be out yet.
I see the original Gozer so far. I'm looking.
It's all good. May not get a picture of Gozer.
The thing that was weird is like this demon from the earlier on in the movie. It didn't really pan out to be anything. Like they didn't really ever go after it again. I guess it was.
No, that was the demon dog.
Was that just one of the demon dogs?
Yeah, it was one of the demon dogs.
Okay, I guess that's what it is. It's weird how they did that.
Yep. But yeah, that was one of the demon dogs.
I guess so. That makes sense. I thought Muncher was pretty fun, though.
Oh, I know. He cracked me up when they finally see him at that fucking fire hydrant trying to, eat it. And when he looks right at them and just like a cartoon, squeak it, I thought that was hilarious. Or when the kid podcast went with that whistle thing, and Muncher just looked at him like, pussy.
Yeah, and I thought the girl and podcast were both the younger actors did a really good job too. I thought she did.
So
girls, I'm bad with names.
No, it's okay. The girl, the actor's name is McKenna Grace, but her character's name is Phoebe.
Yeah, that's right. I just seen the damn movie too. I can't remember.
Don't feel bad. I've done that myself.
Yeah, I had it pulled. I have it pulled up now.
I think the only one that I really had to look at the name was Finn Wolfhard, the older brother one. And I think his character's name is Trevor.
Well, it's weird whenever because all these actors are a couple years older now. It's weird. It's weird whenever you see them. You like see them now because they don't look anything like what they.
Oh, I know, because the movie was like done like maybe a couple years ago in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, because look at her now. Exactly.
Yeah. It's weird. But of course, she probably didn't wear her hair ever like she wore it in the movie, like curly like that. But she's probably the thing is she's probably older than she. I mean, most of the time they're playing like younger actors or younger characters. A good example is that are you familiar with the show Freaks and Geeks?
I know of it. I haven't seen it.
Well, the girl that's in Freaks and Geeks, I'm trying to see here if I can find it, but the main character, I'm blanking on her name, but she like when she was playing, she's supposed to have been playing like a 17-year-old or something, a 17-year-old, and she was like 28 when she was playing. It's the same girl that plays Hawkeye's wife in the.
Oh, I know who that is. I forget her name too, but she also played. Oh my god. Which one's the one with the glasses in Scooby-Doo? Daphne?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she was in that too. I think she was on ER for a while or something like that. Or one of those type of shows.
Oh, there was also another movie that she was in.
She's in Grandma's Boy too.
It's been forever since I've seen that, so I'd have to rewatch that. But what was it called? I was just thinking of it. Oh my god, her face, I can see it. Excuse me. Oh, she's in Daddy's Home. Oh, okay. 1 and 2 because she plays the wife.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, she's been in quite a few things.
Oh yeah,
but she's she was like this is 1998 and she was playing like she's pretty old. She's probably in her late 50s now. At least mid 50s.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You'd have to look her up.
She was like she was like 28. She was like 28 years old playing a 17-year-old.
Huh. I don't know if she's in her 50s. I mean, she's probably in her 40s, but I don't think she's in her 50s.
I'm having one of my bad brain fart.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good.
I haven't watched that series. That's a good series if you've never seen it. It's an excellent series. It's only one season.
That's the one that has James Franco and Seth Rogen, right?
Yeah. It's got a great cast.
Do you happen to be excited for the Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah. I think it looks pretty good. I'm
a little excited to see that one. Out of all the Spider-Man movies that were more recent, I would say this one has me more hyped than the other two did. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Linda Cardellini. I always forget her name.
That's right. If you go to her Wikipedia or something like that, it should say what her age is.
No, she's not quite that old. She's born in 75. I'm wrong about that.
So she's about 10 years older than me. So she's okay.
Yeah, she's just a few years older than me.
I mean, depending on the month, she would be 40, turning.
She's about 46, 47.
Yes, like around there, yeah.
I'm 43. I just turned 43, so
I'm 37. So.
Okay. So, yeah, I was wrong about that. My bad. So she was probably she was about the right age to be playing a 17-year-old. So that was about the same age.
They do that a lot with movies.
She was probably about 21 or 22 at the time. She's a little older than me, so that wasn't too bad.
Well, it's like when Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst were in the first Spider-Man together, and James Franco, of course. They were in high school, but they were definitely in their 20s when they made that movie.
Yeah.
Like early 20s.
But Freaks and Geeks also has, it had a great cast they had John Francis Daly, who ended up he didn't really do a whole lot afterwards. He did he was kind of the trainee in the movie um Waiting. You're familiar with Waiting?
That does sound familiar. I'm not sure if I've seen it or what, but holy crap. I just recently watched the King Richard movie with Will Smith.
Oh yeah. I'm going to see it tomorrow, so.
Well, if you have HBO Max, it's on there.
Yeah, I've got a friend that likes to go to the theater. I go see movies with him, so he's wanting to see it.
So you guys are going to see that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I enjoyed it. Now, it is a long movie, to give you a heads up. But I could say that I honestly enjoyed it. And I think it's because when you're a fan of Will Smith, you almost don't even think at the time. You just think, I like his performances, you know, whether it be comedy or drama, or maybe even both, you know. But it's more focused from his point of view as their dad, basically. And that's why it's called King Richard. And second focus would be Venus, the older sister of Serena, basically.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when I saw that this was coming out, I already knew who Serena Williams was, but I wasn't that familiar with Venus, honestly.
No.
Surprisingly. I knew who Serena was, but I didn't know Venus, her, you know, part in playing sports and stuff like that. I knew Serena as a tennis player. I didn't know her sister, even though she was the first one.
Yeah, I always knew both of them. I always knew both of them, and I'm just afraid. I really don't want to know a lot about it, but I just hope it's not like Down with Whitey, and you know.
What do you mean
Whitey? Down with Whitey. Whitey's holding back the black athletes, you know.
Oh, well, they do kind of mention something of the sorts where.
Because this is the 90s. This isn't like the freaking 50s or 60s.
Oh, no.
I can understand, you know, the kind of attitude might exist, but.
Well, from what I understand, Richard Williams himself, like the real guy, is from Louisiana originally. But in his youth, he did have to deal with white supremacy and stuff like that. So they do touch on the subject, but it doesn't, like, say, start with Richard as a kid or any of that stuff. It's already him being an adult, taking his kids, you know, to go practice, basically. So without spoiling anything, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed it. I truly did enjoy it. And
because I mean, the previews look, you know, pretty decent, you know, because I like bioptic films, so it looked. For some reason, I always like sports bioptic films too. They're always
well. If you like biopic films, did you ever see Bohemian Rhapsody?
Yeah.
How about Rocket Man? Because I heard that was kind of.
I've always been a big fan of Queen. You know, that's kind of my wheelhouse, prog rock and stuff like that. So I always enjoyed that. You know, I like big operatic vocals and combined with rock and roll. So they was like right up my alley.
If you like that kind of stuff, and you might know of it, you ever heard of Repo Genetic Opera?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. Opera,
is
but with like metal
though?
Music. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
And there's another one called The Devil's Carnival. And that has like Sean Clown Crahan from Slipknot. It has Ivan Moody, plethora of other characters. I love Ivan Moody. He's called Hobo the Clown.
Yeah.
He's cool. His song is called A Penny for a Tale. Like, let me tell you a tale for a penny. One that you cannot hear anywhere else. Not anywhere else. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I could have kept going, but I'm not to.
Yeah, there used to be. I never could figure out if it was an actual band or just one guy kind of doing everything. But there was some people from, I think they were from Ohio, but they were called the Lollipop Factory. But they were kind of hard operatic though. But they were probably more on the lines of. But they were they were probably hard rock. They weren't really metal, but they had big guitars. Like he was a really talented guitarist, and
Mm-hmm.
the whole band was real talented. But that's like way back in the early 2000s. That's back whenever I was kind of in the music scene, around,
Yeah.
which I wasn't a musician, but whenever my roommates were, and I was a sound engineer, but I was within like we we were kind of part of the Lexington, Kentucky, kind of the college music scene.
Yeah.
Everything around there always centered around, at least in my day, kind of centered around this. I really wasn't part of I was kind of around the crowd of they called it WRFL. It was a student ran college radio station, but they played it was all like all the DJs were students, and they played like this really good stuff, at least back in the days, all alternative or
Did anybody leave any
independent.
comments?
No, we've had
Huh.
several people, but nobody's leaving any comments. So
You guys are supposed to interact. That's the point of lives.
yeah, because I know we're probably boring you guys to death. Some of
Sorry,
talking about
we're it's a live stream. We're just trying to talk about anything and everything at the moment. We were hoping to have a special guest with us tonight. He said that he's probably not going to make it, but I did let him know that he can join if he wants to still, because we're still on. John, I mean, if you can, on your side, if you want to message him and let him know that we're still on, if he still wants to join.
Did you already send him a message or?
Well, I just told him that he can join any time, but
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll see. I hate to bug him if he don't want to be on. I was surprised when you said he was interested in coming on and talking about it.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, like I told him, I said, sorry, it's kind of last minute, and he had mentioned that he, that he had to work, of course, and that's why I put with the story thing with possible special guest, because I didn't want to just say with special guest and then him feel obligated to be on.
Yeah. Well, I made that poster earlier. I didn't know that. I just went ahead and threw it up there, just in case.
Oh, I'm sure he was thinking that he was going to be like home early or something like that, and no worries, Ken, no worries.
Yeah, well, it's not a big deal at all.
No, it's not.
You
But
can
yeah,
come on
you're.
another time and talk about something.
Oh yeah.
Anytime. We haven't been doing too bad tonight. I've been mumbling around a little bit as usual, but that's all right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look for all my other newer stuffs over here. I might go grab a couple things and talk about it and see if
Okay, go for it. Oh, I got something I can show you too. Surprisingly, I had it right next to me. I'll wait until you get back.
Well, one of them. Oh, did you pick up Josie and the Pussycats?
No, I didn't, and I need to.
I don't have it sitting here. I don't know where it is. It's laying somewhere else.
But that was one of your new pickups, yeah.
Yeah.
But this one I got from my work. It's one of those like asylum films. It's called Apocalypse Earth. This movie was horrible.
Really?
Horrible. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that like these kind of movies or whatever, but this was just like, it's a straight to video type of movie. And some asylum movies are actually good, but this one just wasn't. Just no.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna.
I haven't watched any Asylum. There for a while, I got into Asylum a kick and was trying to buy some stuff, and it that stuff was kind of good. I think I had like two-headed shark attack. Some of that stuff that's ridiculous and.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have one called Avalanche Sharks.
Yeah. Yeah.
My son thought it was like cool, but I was just like, this is no.
Well, they tried to make like the 80s ski resort movie mixed with a shark attack movie, and it was just weird.
It really was. It really was. It was one of those odd films.
I yes.
Yeah. It's funny. This is what happens to me every time I buy a fucking movie. I saw the double feature at my work of the Brady Bunch movies, right? And I said, knowing, and I even said this to myself at work. I'm like, knowing my luck, the moment I buy this, there's going to be something of the sorts where it's going to come out. And I shoot you down, like literally like a day or two later, I see it advertised by Geek Gab, and I'm like, son of a bitch. You know,
would you get it on DVD or something?
Yeah, DVD. So I have the DVD of it, or DVDs, but I plan on upgrading it to the Blu-ray because I would rather have the Blu-ray.
Yeah, the transfers look pretty good actually. Wasn't that
nice? Bad. Well, they should. I mean, they're brand new.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed with Little Monsters transfer.
Yeah, you can't never tell. Like even the Josie and the Pussycats looked really good too. They did a good job with that. So
yeah, some of the movies that I have.
Movie has that movie kind of, I don't know why, I've always really liked it. I mean, it's got a pretty cool message in it. You know, it's got the whole brainwashing people into liking their, you know, that whole kind of sinister element to it. It's kind of cool. Which that made. It's really supposed to be the way the movie doesn't really come off like you got like a master villain like would be in a cartoon, and that's what they're trying to do. But the girl in it, I'm forgetting her name. Posey Parker, her character. She doesn't really come off like the supervillain type, but that's what she is. So, but she plays what her part is really good though. Because she keeps breaking characters sometimes because she has a lisp. She has a lisp, and like when she gets nervous, she starts lisping, and she has to go hide and correct herself.
That's funny.
But it's just a funny movie because I like how they make fun of the boy bands and stuff in it. When that movie came out, it came out probably 2001, I believe, when it came out, and so that was like the height of like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC and all that stuff. So they kind of making fun of them.
Well, it's funny because being a kid when they came out, you know, NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, well, and New Kids as well, because New Kids was before them, but there were certain people, or at least guys in general, I don't know about women too much, but that would be afraid to say, I am a fan of New Kids, or I'm a fan of Backstreet or NSYNC. And me personally, I do like New Kids on the Block. Backstreet Boys, they have some good songs, but I don't like all of their songs. If I were to pick a band out of all those three that I could say where I like all their music, and I mean could say all the music, would be New Kids and NSYNC, because I think NSYNC just has better songs.
Yeah, I listened when I was a certain. I guess I definitely listened to New Kids on the Block for sure. And here's a little story about that. I actually I remember listening to New Kids on the Block, and I liked them there for a little while. And then I kind of got into like Billy Joel, started to get into a little more serious music.
Nice. We did start the fire.
But Billy Joel came to Rupp Arena, and I kind of wanted to see them. But my parents, this is like after I quit listening to New Kids on the Block for about a year.
Yeah.
And like for Christmas, my parents got me New Kids on the Block tickets, and my parents ended up taking me, and we left like barely into the concert because I think I was getting sick or something. But at the same time, it was loud as hell. Like it was like we were like in the nosebleeds, and it was fucking loud as hell. And I mean, it was a bunch of screaming. It was all screaming girls all around, and it was like, I was like, we got the hell out of there. It was not fun.
I remember, I think I was like 15. Yeah, I had to have been 15. And I found out that we were going to a Black Sabbath reunion tour, going to one of the shows in San Jose. And this is when I lived in the Bay Area at the time. And it's funny because I only knew that Black Sabbath was there. I didn't know who else was there. Come to find out, Pantera is on the bill. So all of a sudden, when I see Pantera coming on stage, because of course I don't know who the other band is until they come out, basically. There was no banner saying Pantera, no nothing like that. But everybody gets all excited, and then I recognize Dimebag Darrell because of his, pink beard and shit, and I know what he looks like. And Phil Anselmo, he had grown his hair out again, so he didn't have the shaved head, so I didn't recognize him right away. And everybody in the crowd, and I mean just about every damn buddy, was singing all the fucking lyrics to the songs. And the only song I really knew was Walk, Respect.
I never was a big Pantera fan, or I didn't listen to a lot of heavy metal really, but the '90s were like supposedly Pantera's good years. That's what they claimed. That
definitely
it was their best years, better than like the '80s. I don't know that for sure, but that's what people say.
Well, see, they didn't get well established until the '90s. The late '80s is when they got together, formed, played shows, then got noticed, then made a record, and that's when it came out, like, I believe 1990 or 91, around there. I'd have to look that up because it's been forever. But
that's pretty cool. Yeah, I never was big into real heavy metal. I like that's why I don't know a lot of heavy metal band names and stuff like
But Black Sabbath, right?
Yeah, Black Sabbath is fine. But I wouldn't really I guess they were kind of the
early metal.
They were the beginning of metal, but they wouldn't be classified as metal later on. Not really, not to me, but I mean,
if
I like
anything,
Tool.
Original metal.
I like Tool a whole lot, like Tool, and some of those '90s bands were pretty heavy, but they weren't necessarily metal bands. Not so much metal bands in the
I would call
classical
Tool alternative metal.
Yeah, I always called them psychedelic metal because they're got a little.
Yeah, you could call it that too. Definitely.
Because it's a little bit more. They're a little more intuitive. Perfect Circle and that stuff. Like that.
Took me a while to get used to Maynard's voice. I'm not gonna lie, because I didn't really care for Tool at first. Now I can say I enjoyed them, but when I was younger, they were one of those bands that I thought Maynard sounded kind of annoying in my opinion, the way he sang. But as I grew up, of course, when you start to appreciate music for what it is, kind of thing, that's when I started to like actually Maynard's voice, Tool in general, and his other bands like A Perfect Circle and Pussifer, I think is the other one.
Yeah.
I
like Megadeth. I think Megadeth's pretty cool, and
they're metal.
Yeah, they're definitely
Metallica's metal.
Yeah.
But there's different variations of metal.
I had a friend who there's a little old little couple that lived next door to me. It's a man and wife, but they were older, and they had I guess it was their nephew that would come stay with them in the summertime, and he was like a friend of mine, but he only came in the summer. And he was from like Cincinnati, and I mean he used to come in, and he'd be the kid that always had like the stuff that my parents wouldn't let me get or something. But he was the guy that had like in the '80s Poison's album Open Up and Say Off. They they censored the album cover on it because the original album cover had a picture of a guy with a big, I don't know if it's a girl or a guy, but they had a big long tongue sticking out. And it wasn't really that bad, but they censored it. And then the only thing what I got was just like they only had the eyes, and it was just like the eyes you could see, and the rest was black. But like he had the original cover for that, but he got more and more into metal, and then he eventually got into the death metal. So he ended up being like in a death metal band and stuff when he got older and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
nobody commenting still?
No, it's weird.
Wow. And how many people are watching?
I actually have no idea at the moment. It's showing one, but there's usually more than that.
Huh. Oh, I think I know what this is in my corner. I was wondering what the hell that was.
We've had several throughout the night, so but it's just it's going up and down.
Yeah.
But what else here? Let me.
Did you see Shang-Chi?
No. I'm not seeing that.
I did. I watched it on Disney Plus, and even though when I had seen the trailer, it did not intrigue me at all, but after watching it, it was actually good. Like, it was actually good.
Pick this
Don
up on
Knotts.
Blu-ray. Yeah.
Nice.
This is the Blu-ray though. Yep.
I mainly know him from the Andy Griffith Show, even though I know he's done other work, but that's what I mainly know him from.
Those movies are pretty funny. The Shakiest Gun in the West and the Luck of the Astronaut are pretty funny movies.
Or The Ghost of Mr. Chicken.
Yeah, they're kind of like the. I guess are they Disney? I'm not sure. I guess they're Disney. They're kind of that classic Disney.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Don Knotts was actually one of my favorites as a kid because I always thought he was funny on Andy Griffith Show and whatever movie he did.
I'm pretty sure he's in the first Love Bug. I'm pretty sure he's in one of the Love Bugs. The first one, I'm pretty sure though.
Probably, I can't remember. But
I picked this up on Criterion. Incredible Shrinking Man.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I don't have a lot of Criterion stuff. Like I do have the Criterion, The Breakfast Club. I have Fantastic Mr. Fox on there, and excuse me, Dazed and Confused.
Yeah, a lot of these others are just older stuff you probably won't be as familiar with, but like this was a pretty good set. Randolph Scott.
Yeah, I don't recognize the name.
Yeah, he's a Western guy. He did a lot of Westerns, a lot of B-movie Westerns and things like that, but he worked with a director called Bud Bedecker for like 5 of these movies. I actually have the Indicator, Bud Bedecker and Randolph Scott set, and those movies are on here, but they're just an excellent run of movies. I personally call, like, during this era that's mostly on this disc, I call them, it's not that they're what they're really supposed to be called, but they're I call them old man Westerns, and they're kind of like, they're different situations in them, but it's kind of like the old man comes to town to help somebody, or the old man's in a situation where he's helping out some younger person, or he's like almost like a supporting person in the role, but he's like the old wise man that's kind of comes in and helps out.
Yeah.
Because he kind of has that role. He's also Randolph Scott's in a Sam Peckinpah movie called Ride the High Country, and that's about kind of 2 older men, and it is kind of that same role. I guess that was just kind of a thing in Westerns there for a while. They had a lot of those type of characters. Especially when you have a lot of the stars that were, they've been in Hollywood for a long time and they're kind of reaching the end of their career. They put them in Westerns, and they did these like these kind of slower pace Westerns.
Do you want to message Jody and see if he's home? Because if he is, then he got done watching the Ghostbusters.
Did he say to contact him or?
No, he didn't, but I figured that since we're live, might as well, just to see if anybody wants to join while we're live.
Okay.
I thought that'd be kind of funny too, like, hey, you home?
Oh, but as far as movies, I went and seen the theater. I obviously seen The French Dispatch, which was excellent. It's a Wes Anderson movie. It's an excellent movie. And I seen Dune, which is another excellent movie.
You're talking the new one, right?
Yes, new Dune.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that too.
And I actually went and seen my buddy that I go see movies with. He sometimes wants to see this, which is fine. I like to go just for entertainment purposes, but I went and seen Red Notice, and it was so. It was what it was. It's The Rock and what's his name?
Oh, Ryan
Reynolds.
And Gal Gadot. Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan Reynolds is in that movie Waiting as well. I couldn't think of his name there.
Oh, Waiting! I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
The comedy.
Yeah, Waiting. Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah, and it had I think her name was Anna Faris or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, do you remember the kid that played the trainee that he kept blowing off, and he yells at him at the very end? He's like kind of got the last line.
It's been a long time since I've seen
Yeah.
Waiting, so I
Well,
don't
that's-
really remember much of it.
But that's the kid from Freaks and Geeks.
Okay. I'd have to, yeah, see, I gotta watch that again. I don't have it, so I probably have to look for it on a streaming platform if it happens to be on one. And it had Dane Cook in it too, right? The comedian? Even though Ryan Reynolds was in it, what? I'm thinking of another person who might have been in it, but I don't remember his name. Wait. Dax Shepard? I think that's his name.
I don't think he's in that. I might be wrong. I could be wrong.
Hell, I might be wrong.
I'll look it up. I should have looked that up earlier. But this other stuff I got, some people have seen that stuff. These W.C. Fields I was talking about.
Oh,
earlier.
nice.
I got a couple more, but I've got them laying over there. But
yeah, see,
they're
there's
just
certain
comedies.
ones that just came out on the Blu-ray format that I want to get too. Because I got that movie called Nothing But Trouble with Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, and them.
Yeah. This is
What
a
is
good
that?
noir.
Oh,
Leave Her to Heaven. It's a really good noir. It's a John Stahl movie. He's a director, 30s and 40s, 50s, and it's excellent. This is an excellent movie.
nice.
But it is in color, but it's considered a noir, so it doesn't have to be black and white to be a noir
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. But it's very good. But the woman's kind of the sinister element in the movie. That's really all it takes to be a noir. It's kind of a sinister element, and she's like a really bad person. So she kind of feels that sinister element. It's kind of a different dynamic. A lot of his movies kind of focused around women a whole lot.
Yeah.
Because he, some of his earlier movies, he made some movies pre-Cold era in Hollywood. So some of his movies kind of took on like different. They kind of explored different women issues and stuff. He wasn't like a feminist director or nothing like that. He just handled more difficult subject matter for the time, and he wasn't able to do that kind of stuff later on after they went past the Code era and got into the kind of the Decency Act or whatever they called it. After that, so that's a good movie. That's an excellent movie.
Nice.
Yeah.
Jody and I not long ago were talking about like how he would like to do more giveaways. Because he had showed me some of the titles that he had that were extras. One of them was Justice League, the Snyder Cut one, and I think one of them was Children of the Corn, the Arrow, 4K release.
Does he have an extra 4K Snyder Cut? I'd buy it off of him.
Oh, you just ask him. I'm sure he probably would sell it to you or trade. He says he does trades too.
Yeah. I might buy it off of him because I haven't found that in stores, the 4K at least. It might be in there now. I just haven't looked for it in a while.
Well, I know you can buy it online.
Yeah. I'm not worried about so much the Steelbook. It'd have been nice to have it, but I'm not worried about the Steelbook so much.
Well, because the Steelbook did come back in stock at stores and online as well. I don't know if it's sold out now, but I know it came back.
Oh, yeah. I might have to look for it again. I don't know. I'll see. I'll talk to him about it. See if he'll sell it to me.
Hearing all the cops in the town. Woo! Thank God I'm not a YouTuber living in Compton.
What's going on there right now?
No. It's not what's going on. It's the
just for the cops shootings and stuff
like that, where a lot of movies like Boys in the Hood and other movies like that kind of, circle around that area, is the Compton area.
Is it still bad? Is it still bad in those areas? You don't really hear much out of it, not at least out this way. Not like you did in the 90s.
I don't really watch the news enough to know, but I'm sure there is activity that still happens. But it's usually local news broadcasting places that'll, do it more than, say, national. Like if they have a local Fox News, station, they would just do it at that location rather than say Fresno.
What was that? Yeah, but Red Notice was the problem with Red Notice was it was trying to be a spy movie, and there was like whoever did the soundtrack or did the score for the movie, like basically just directly ripped off James Bond. There was some straight up like 60s and 70s James Bond riffs in there. There was just like one or two notes changed, and it would have been exactly a James Bond riff.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So it wasn't necessarily but it was trying to be like a spy thing, and the problem was it was kind of predictable. I kind of seen most of the things that came along. Like they try to have a big twist in the end, and I kind of predicted it at the first couple of scenes of the movie. But it was just fun. Sometimes I like to go and just have fun. See a stupid movie like that. But as far as Shang-Chi, I just don't have much interest. I seen it broke down.
I didn't either, though. That's the thing. I didn't have an interest for it at all. But when I saw that it was free on Disney Plus now, to where you didn't have to pay a special fee, that's when I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot, and actually enjoyed it.
I'd watch it for free. That's about it. Oh, there's one thing I do need to go check out, but it's getting awful reviews. Is that Cowboy Bebop I was talking about? But I am going to watch it I'm going to watch it for myself so I can judge it for myself.
Live action Cowboy Bebop.
Most of the time I try to do that. I don't, but there's some things the people that I watch that do reviews, I trust them enough that I can kind of go off what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not just like one person; it's like multiple sources. But
oh yeah.
But let's see. I got that. I don't know where it is. I got that Evangelion, that anime set that came out.
Yeah.
This past week. That's really good. I'm pretty big into anime, but most people watching probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But it's just kind of a.
I don't know.
It's a. I don't know where it is. I laid some stuff in different piles. Oh,
did you ever get the Arrow releases for Donnie Darko and Tremors?
Yeah.
You did get those?
Mm-hmm.
How about the Criterion collection of Bruce Lee?
Yes.
You did? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
were you a fan of the Bourne?
I even have the older Bruce Lee set that came out before.
Which one? The like VHS one?
No, there was a different Blu-ray set that came out.
Oh, okay.
It was. I don't have that 4K. I have the Blu-ray Bourne set.
Yeah, this one's the whole set.
We got a Tim Teat said stupid movies can be great stress relief. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yes. I know there's a guy that I follow on a TikTok. He said that he used to have a really bad addiction problem. And he said that movies were actually his therapy and helped him became sober.
Tim Teets also says Shang-Chi was a decent flick, better than I thought. The Eternals
exactly.
was a bit lacking.
Exactly.
What I seen with the problem with Shang-Chi, everything I seen with it was it's kind of a low grade kung fu movie. It's just
no. The action was actually good.
Yeah, I don't know, but I've seen a lot of kung fu, a lot of good old stuff. So,
well, let's just say they don't overdo it with the martial arts in the movie.
Sister Street Fighter, stuff like that is awesome stuff. Street Fighter and Sister Street Fighter, all that.
Are you gonna get the Street Fighter Blu-ray Steelbook that's coming out?
What Street Fighter? I'm talking about, like
the old one with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Raul Julia.
No, that's not the Street Fighter I'm talking about. I'm talking about the old, made in the 70s, 60s or 70s. They were 70s.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about now.
They're Chinese made or
I see what you're saying. Yeah. I think I do know the one you're talking about. Yeah,
I forget I'm bad. I forget the name of that studio that made all that stuff over there. So if somebody in the chat knows, there actually is a big box set that came out, but they released Harvest. It's a something Harvest, Golden Harvest. Yeah, Golden Harvest. They're like a production company in Taiwan, I guess.
Huh. Okay.
And they used to exist. They don't exist anymore, I don't believe. But they made just tons of kung fu movies and just all kinds of movies. I think they may actually have made some of the Bruce Lee stuff when he
Oh,
was.
okay. Yeah, because I know this is all of his like major, movies that he did.
Yeah.
Which is cool, because now new restoration, they look good. Even though I would prefer like an actual real 4K than say Blu-ray 4K.
Yeah.
That's
What was
yeah.
talking about? It was something. Yeah, I'm trying to think what other.
Are you aware of the
4K
rumor
stuff.
that's going around for Nightmare on Elm Street coming to like 4K or something like that?
Not really. I haven't heard anything. I thought it just. Didn't they just re-release it on Blu-ray?
No,
Or
they
is that
didn't
a-
re-release it. That was Friday the 13th you're probably talking about.
No, I've got that set, but
But Nightmare on Elm Street, no.
no. Not yet.
There
Is that
is a
just an
Blu-ray
old
set though.
It's out of print though, isn't it? Something like that.
I don't think the Nightmare on Elm Street one is.
Oh, okay. I've never those the movies as far as horror, the kind of stuff that I grew up on.
Oh yeah.
But I'd like to have it on. If the whole set comes to 4K, I'd probably re-buy that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh,
I
definitely.
think.
Oh, who's that?
Salt Bay. Good evening, gentlemen. Heads up. Fast 9 is only $10 on 4K.
Oh, thank you. I already have it.
Is that a Black Friday deal?
Yeah,
Sounds
because
like
Best Buy and other places are doing their like digital Black Fridays right now.
Not a massive Fast and the Furious fan, to be perfectly honest with you. I've liked several of them, but I'm kind of a weirdo. My favorite is Tokyo Drift.
Well, I'm rewatching because I think I only got up to like maybe the fourth film and never finished the franchise. So I'm rewatching.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. Actually, that the last one that came out during the summer, I actually wanted to go see it because it looked like a really fun action movie.
Yeah, that one's Fast 9 that he's talking about.
Yeah, because it looked like really big and over the top special effects and stuff. I actually did want to see that.
Yeah, and I think John Cena is in it.
But the thing is I want. That's what sucked about COVID because it's kind of ended a lot of the blockbusters for the time being, and I still want those to come out because I want the option to go see that kind of movie just for entertainment value.
Oh yeah,
at least because everything you see doesn't have to be like a lot of these old movies, just amazing movies. They don't have to be like the best movies ever made. They just got to be entertaining sometimes. But
oh yeah.
A lot of my saltiness with Disney and especially with Disney when Star Wars and Marvel is that I don't think they're making movies to the full potential or definitely the kind of stories they should be making, and that's why I don't want to support them anymore because they went downhill ever since Disney took over, and they just they've got franchises that they could do so much with, especially now that they have the X-Men and Fantastic Four. And I hope to God they do not ruin those two because they do not ruin those franchises. If those franchises handled the correct way and handled the proper way for the very first time, I mean the first couple of X-Men movies are good. The Singer movies are actually pretty good, and the first couple in the reboot era, or not the reboot, the later era with the first class and those. The first couple of those are good.
Yeah,
and those are good, but handled in a proper way, it could be an amazing franchise for them if they do it correctly. And I'm afraid that they're not. because Disney you just hear recently when they released all the new stuff they had coming out for like Star Wars and just all their, or I think it was like Marvel Day or something. They released all their franchises, and they just keep just rolling out ideas. And I think they almost are just putting stuff out there, kind of like a dartboard. They're trying to see what's going to stick and what people get interested in, and see what people bitch about, and then they make maybe one or two of those. But they put out like 10 or 20 ideas at once, and then it's like there's no way you're going to be able to make all this stuff.
Yeah.
In this climate. So I'm just a little salty with Disney right now. I just don't like large corporations controlling so much space out there.
Well, a lot of studios do that though, like Warner Brothers with Zack Snyder. They did the same thing. And that's why there was the, Snyder cut.
Tim Teat said $10 may still be overpriced.
I somewhat agree with that because 4K, since they've been out for a while, they should try to be more lenient on charging people.
Yeah, I might have to stroll into Best Buy this coming weekend. Yeah, this next weekend, technically, this coming weekend.
Yeah.
To see what they have. See if they got any good deals on 4Ks. I might pick up a few things I'd usually probably wouldn't pick up at full price.
Well, if I were you before the night is over for you, I would get on the Best Buy website, and because you can actually select like your location of where you go to shop store-wise, like the one that's closest to you. And you can see what they actually have in stock to where you could drive down if you want and pick up stuff $9.99, $14.99, possibly $20, depending on the title, of course. But like The Martian with Matt Damon, that's $9.99 right now.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Because some you might be able to get cheaper now than, say, this actual weekend.
Yeah.
At least for certain titles.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they got some good deals going right now.
Let's see. Tim Teat said, I think overall Marvel has ran its course. Yeah, well, the problem is somebody else was talking about this other day, how you have a lot of genres like in Hollywood, and a genre may last 20 years, and they believe that maybe we're in the downward decline of the superhero genre because we're starting to get into that kind of just by analytics that those declination years, the years they're going downhill, but they don't have to be. If they keep making crap, then they're definitely going to kill it. But they don't have to. They can make good stuff.
Yes.
There's good stories out there to be made, but they're just not doing it.
Yeah.
They're basing it off a lot of the stuff that's getting made is based off recent comic book properties. And I think a lot of it has a lot to do with it. Disney controls all the newer stuff, like all the new comics. A lot of the old comics. See, Disney, like a lot of people don't know this, but Disney, like for Star Wars example, like when they took over, they still have not paid residual payments to some of the people who wrote the books. Like people that were getting...
You mean like royalty?
Getting paid royalties, yes. I'm trying to think of the guy's name. He wrote a Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which is like technically the second Star Wars book. It's supposed to have been Star Wars. It's supposed to have been episode 4. It's supposed to be in episode 4, but it ended up getting rewritten. But Splinter of the Mind's Eye. It's basically like Luke Skywalker goes to this planet where Darth Vader is. It's just a little off story. But he wrote a bunch of other stuff, but he's not been paid. Disney won't pay him, and that's why they don't want to pay all these. And they're doing the same thing with Marvel. There's a lot of Marvel creators that have not been paid for their artwork and their past artwork and things like that. So,
what pisses me off about Disney is the way they handle their physical media, because it's almost like they're trying to force people to literally become, streamers, when in reality, not everybody's going to buy Disney Plus. not everybody enjoys the stream because one, there are glitches, that happen. Your internet can go out, whatever it may be. But with your, 4K movies, Blu-ray movies, whatever it may be, you have it there. And if you take care of your shit, it won't glitch. It won't do all that stuff, because I know with discs, if like a tiny scratch or whatever could make your movie glitch, skip or whatever it may be.
I wasn't too concerned about that. I kind of got mad over the Gina Carano situation. It was bull crap, and I did stand up and got rid of my account. I just refused to watch it. And they're putting out some stupid stuff. Have you seen the? I should have. I got copyright claim for playing those trailers.
Really?
That night without any sound. There was no sound on them. Which I'm not monetized, so it doesn't matter.
Same here. I'm not monetized.
It just gets copyright claim. They don't do nothing to you. But with no sound, which is weird because a lot of people, I see people play streams all the time on those streams all the time with sound, and they don't. You're supposed to, from now on, if we ever do that again, you got to break it up and stop, and then maybe talk a little bit, and then play a little more. You got to kind of break it up.
Apparently, yeah.
You got to do it EFAP style, which EFAP just stands. It's some guys do a channel called EFAP, but they kind of developed this style where it's called. They just basically break down movies, but they do they call it every frame.
I'll do a copy and paste for you of a Copyright Act type of deal that you could actually put in the description, where it's like it's only used for educational purposes, this and that, whatever it may be, and to where you can still play it and not get copyrighted.
But as usual, I got off topic there. But have you seen the trailer for that new? It's a Disney Plus new Home Alone.
Oh, Home Sweet Home Alone.
It looks horrible because just the look of the movie. It looks like it's all done on CG, like a sound stage. It's all CG. Like they show a picture of like the house, and the house looks like it was CG'd. Like the outside of the house, instead of actually filming a real house.
It could have been a sound stage.
It just looks terrible. I mean, just the whole concept looks terrible. The whole production looks terrible.
Well, from what I understand, story-wise, is that it's pretty sad and kind of fucked up too. Because, excuse me, the boy in this one has a couple's like prized possession, so to speak, that was theirs. So it's one of those, the burglars are not even necessarily burglars. They're trying to get something back that's theirs. And this kid, I guess, doesn't even realize it or something. Or maybe he does, but has a different plan. I don't know. I haven't watched it yet. But from watching other people's reviews, this is a married couple that's having a life struggle, and this little shit kid is making it even harder.
Weird.
Yeah.
Because I seen like one scene of it, it shows him like throwing the paint cans down just like the original movie. They're just copying from the original movie. It's like,
well, Buzz is in it.
Yeah.
The guy who played Buzz, he's in it. He plays a cop.
Yeah, I'd say he hadn't done anything for 25 years, so I'm assuming he was up for the role.
No, he's been in stuff. He was in the show Supernatural. He played a character in there.
Cool.
But oh my God, I didn't think he was going to blow up the way he did. And I mean, physically, because he gained weight.
Well, you could tell he had potential for it when he was a kid, though. He was kind of a big guy then,
Yeah, but he wasn't like, say, fat though as a kid. He just had...
He wasn't fat. He was kind of, I don't know. He just looked like, yeah.
Because I know when he was in Home Alone 2, he was a little bit more slimmer.
Yeah. I just thought it just looked bad. I don't know why. It just looked kind of bad. Now I heard the Mighty Ducks thing actually isn't too bad. Heard that they kind of did I haven't watched that, but I heard it was not all that bad. The Mighty Ducks.
I saw a couple of episodes of it. I haven't finished the episodes, but I was enjoying it. I could verify that, if anything. That was actually not bad. I even watched the remakes, so to speak, or whatever, of Turner and
Oh,
Hooch.
Tim. Yeah, I forgot to say thanks, Tim. He said great episode again, guys. Yeah, I
Thank you.
thought I thought when his name come out earlier, he's been on before. I couldn't remember though.
But the
Yeah,
new Turner and
thanks.
Hooch, that was actually good. I enjoyed it. I watched all the episodes, and it is basically not even a reboot or remake. Kind of like an add-on to the movie. Oh, nice. That's cool.
I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of the show, but I like the toys. Look
Yeah.
I thought which I had that.
You like getting Funkos?
Not really.
Not really. Okay, never mind then.
I've got those few there in the back, but you can't see them. But
No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I was curious because they have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Secret of the Ooze Funkos.
Yeah. I'm just not a real big fan of them because there's just so many, and it's too late to ever try to start collecting them for me.
I just grab what I like. I'm not like a serious collector. I just grab what I like.
The main reason that I don't have, I've pretty much had to make space for the toys that I bought, and I'm running out of space for that. I just don't have space for them. I'd literally have to buy them and box them up, and it wouldn't be very fun. And they're kind of not worth taking out of the box. They're the one kind of toy that I wouldn't want to take out of the box anyways for collectability reasons. And they kind of look better just in the box anyways. They're not necessarily they're not such a toy that you want to take out. They're not really posable, so there's no reason to take them out of the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I keep my stuff in the box.
I bought 3 of those Godzillas. I wanted the whole set, but they kind of quit. They quit putting them out on the shelves, and I've never pursued them. But the Godzilla from the movie back in the summer, they look really good. They actually looked really good, so I picked those up.
Nice. Yeah, I hope to get the Criterion collection of Godzilla, the Showa era, that big old book, thing that they have.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
I would like to get that because I'm a fan of Godzilla all the way. I even like the old crappy shit. I do.
Oh, that old stuff's good.
I loved it.
Like especially you got up into that era, like you got into the 60s and 70s. They had a lot of models, and there'd be a lot of remote control vehicles and stuff they built that looked like were really well done for the miniatures and things like that. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
their stuff.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just like Japanese. Stuff like that, monster fighting and
kaiju.
Yeah, well, and robot fighting, stuff like that, which a lot of animes are, like Gundam and things like that. So,
did you ever see? I think it's called Planet Godzilla on Netflix. It's an anime.
I don't think I've seen that one. Is it pretty good?
It's an anime.
My favorite Godzilla, at least recent Godzilla, is Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla, he was pretty cool.
Because actually, that's what ties into the Evangelion anime. The guy who directed the Evangelion anime, he directed the Shin Godzilla.
Nice.
Because there's like if you've seen Shin Godzilla, you wouldn't know there's some audio cues from the movie. Like there's some places where it's not so much in something you would normally notice, but there's some places where there's like emergency sirens, and it's the same emergency sirens and the same music. There's similar music to the Evangelion. It's kind of cool. It's kind of a cool throwback.
Oh yeah,
to the show.
I know with the new Godzilla movie that they're going to try to work on, or I think it's another Godzilla versus Kong. I can't remember if it was just Godzilla or both again, but that they were going to try to possibly introduce different types of monsters, or even some of the older ones, like maybe Destroya.
That's pretty cool. I was looking for that. Sorry, I was looking for a couple of things there.
It's all good.
I was looking for that Evangelion. I wanted to show it to you, but I can't find it. I don't know what I've done with it. But here's the Josie and the Pussycats.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, pretty
Nice.
pretty good. Which I also have the
Oh, the original.
yeah.
Nice. It's funny. I was asking Geek Gab earlier. I said, "Do you know?" Wait, what is that one? Oh, Josie and the Pussycats. Okay.
In space,
Yeah.
in outer space. Yeah.
But I was asking Geek Gab. I said, "Any word of Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves getting a 4K?" And he instantly like, "No one's gonna buy that." I guess he didn't care for that movie. Because there's certain movies he's just like, hell, no, don't want that to be a 4K. Nope.
But I picked this up as well. I'm a big fan of Ray Harryhausen, and this is a set I've wanted for a while, and I just went ahead and bit the bullet and bought it.
Yeah, nice.
You familiar with Ray Harryhausen?
To be fully honest, no.
Ray Harryhausen, he did like Sinbad movies, and he did It, From Beneath the Sea, and Earth versus the Flying Saucers. But
Nice.
he didn't direct them. He was the visual. He pretty much gets credit for the movies, but he didn't direct. I don't think he directed any of them. But he's like the visual effects guy. But he did like stop motion visual effects. Let's see, what's Jason and the Argonauts? Are you familiar with that movie?
No, I'm not.
But they're like big 50s and 60s movies, and
I don't know a lot of
effects.
50, 60 movies, to be honest. I know like a small portion, but, or should I say enough? I know enough, but I don't know all of it. Now, because Kino Lorber's releasing it in January, and it's the Marilyn Monroe, Jack Lemmon, I forget the other guy's name right now, but it's Some Like It Hot.
Say hot. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That's actually one of my favorite Marilyn Monroe / Jack Lemmon movies.
Did she do any else with Jack Lemmon?
I'm not sure. I just know that that's a
so.
movie that they did together in general, and I haven't seen every single Marilyn Monroe movie, even though I have a good little stack. Like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes or How to Marry a Millionaire.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of... I haven't seen everything Marilyn Monroe's done, but I've seen... God, I'm trying to think of that. I think it was her last movie she did, and... God, what was the name of that? I'll have to look it up here.
I like Audrey Hepburn, too.
Yeah. I have that Audrey Hepburn Blu-ray
collection
over there as well. Yeah.
Nice. I have the My Fair Lady on 4K. But I do have an Audrey Hepburn DVD collection.
Yeah, actually, I hadn't watched War and Peace, and I went back and watched that. That's a pretty good movie.
Nice.
I had never
War and Peace. I feel like I have seen that. Or at least know of it, one or the other.
No.
Excuse me. Are you looking up something?
Yeah, I was looking up Marilyn Monroe. I never can think of the name of that.
The movie you're thinking of?
Yeah, I think it was the last movie she did. She was really good. Let's see here. I don't know if it was the last one she did or not. Let's see here. Sorry, making this stuff here.
I'm guessing Jody wasn't home.
Actually, I didn't. He hadn't responded as of lately. No, he never did respond to it. So
And he's probably barely getting done with the movie.
yeah.
Well, I told him if he wasn't able to join us that he should just make his own little movie review about it and put it on his channel, since he hadn't made a video in a long freaking time. Like months.
Yeah, you should. I don't know what's going on here. I keep trying to put her name in it, come up weird stuff, but I don't know what's going on. But that movie she made was pretty good. The last one. I'm sorry, I'm being an idiot, everybody. But
Nah, it's all good. No worries.
Well, I brought up this movie. It for some reason, instead of her coming up, it brought up a movie she was in. That's weird.
No worries.
Yeah, but Some Like It Hot's a really good movie.
Yes.
That is a really good movie.
I enjoy it very much.
Okay, it's called The Misfits. My bad.
Oh, I think I have that. I think I have The Misfits with Marilyn Monroe.
I think they sold it at I think they sold it at
I think that's where I got it, was Big Lots. I'm gonna see.
Yeah.
Bring you along with me. Misfits.
And Montgomery, Clark Gable and Montgomery Cliff. That's a pretty good one.
Yep, I have it. Right there.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Have you watched it?
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, you should check that out. It's a really good movie.
Do you own the show Quantum Leap?
I don't own Quantum Leap. Did they have the whole
Blu-ray
series? Oh, did you? Yeah.
Yep, Blu-ray entire series. I got it on BestBuy.com. Well, the app. But yeah.
Now, that's crazy. She wasn't around that long, but she made a bunch of
I know.
Movies. She made quite a few movies for what she did. Oh, this is another good movie, The Asphalt Jungle. It's another movie she's in. It's really good.
Now, that one I know I don't have, but I think I have one that's like River Runs Through or something like that. And of course, Misfits, How to Marry a Millionaire, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. That might have been all I have. Oh, and Some Like It Hot. I do have Some Like It Hot, but I do plan on getting the 4K.
That'd be a pretty good one.
Oh, yeah. I'm wondering how well it's going to look, Because I felt Spaceballs was kind of a miss for them.
Is it, yeah, that didn't look that incredible.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Some Like It Hot. Here we go. Just trying to see what I haven't watched it in a while. I can't remember if it's color or.
Oh, it's black and white.
It's black and white. Yeah, it could look really good. That's the only thing about, like Citizen Kane coming out. I don't know how much greater the black and white's going to actually look versus.
Because we have examples already. Like It's a Wonderful Life. That's a black and white.
Yeah,
and Schindler's List.
I wasn't blown away though. So yeah, but thing about Schindler's List, it was shot so much. It's more contemporary black and white film. So it's just shot with better cameras.
Yeah, because it was made in the 90s, yeah.
It's just better cameras, not so much the film stock, but so it's probably going to transfer, and also the film, the copy of it was transferred from was probably a really good, solid copy, because I'm pretty sure Steven Spielberg, he takes good care of his prints. I think he stores them correctly. And some of these old movies, a lot of old prints these transfers come from. Sometimes they have to actually, you know, requisition them from people who have them in private collections, who, and things like that. So you never know what kind of shape you're going to get it in. And some of them, they've actually had to go back and do like restoration work just on the film to be able to transfer it.
Yeah, there's a guy that I follow on YouTube. He's a movie collector as well, but his main love is actually collecting Criterion, in general.
Yeah.
And he's got a good library.
There's this Japanese guy that I don't see his videos come up anymore, but he's like he collects like Criterion Laserdisc, and I think he pretty much buys everything. He's got everything on Laserdisc that they put out. And I think he pretty much buys everything on Blu-ray that comes out, or DVD and Blu-ray, and he has all the variations. Crazy, because sometimes there were variations within the DVDs or the Blu-rays. There would be like they'll release something, then it goes out of print, and then they re-release it, and it'll have a slightly different cover variation of the Criterion logo on it.
Yeah,
and I don't get into that, which is. I just don't have the money to do that, really.
Understandable.
I don't. I would like to have a lot more of the Blu-ray, the Laserdisc Criterions, but I don't really. Only time I buy the Laserdisc is when I kind of run into them. I don't really seek them anymore and try to buy them off eBay. I just try to find them, because if you find them in stores, they're a lot cheaper. You can get them for a couple of bucks, anywhere from $1 to $10 a piece instead of paying 15 to $20. So it's what you're going to pay for them on eBay usually, especially for a Criterion.
No, yeah. Criterion, though, I never understood why they charge so much. Because, not all their movies had, like, say, the best packaging, kind of like how Arrow does with, like, with the, like, digibook, behind-the-scenes stuff and a poster.
Yeah.
So, never understood why.
But, excuse me. They, I think their packaging's probably, let the burps there for a second. Their packaging's been a little bit better than some of the regular packaging, especially back in the DVD era. They had some really nice stuff. I don't have any at arm's length here to get, but they, I had some of the, like the Royal Tenenbaums and some of the early Wes Anderson stuff on Criterion. And I didn't, believe it or not, I didn't collect a whole lot of Criterion on DVD for some weird reason. I didn't start collecting real heavy into Criterion until they got into Blu-ray, and then I started collecting them pretty hard. So I really don't know why. I had stuff, I had this and that. I had like Monty Python's in the Life of Brian. They had that on Criterion. It just oddball stuff. I have a few things, but I didn't actively collect them, and they didn't. But I don't understand. I cannot figure out Barnes and Noble why they price their Criterion the way they do, because they only price them to sell them one time a year or twice a year during their sale. And then, I'm sure they move a lot of product in that point, in that time period, but why not price them? Because what sucks about Amazon is, I think what's happened is they know that you're not going to, like, throughout the year, you're not going to go to Barnes and Noble and pay $40 for a single Criterion. So they've moved their price up to like $27.99, kind of in between the sale price.
Somewhat, yeah.
And because there for a long time, Criterions were around $20 to $22 for a long time. And then they jumped to like $26, $27, $28 now. when it's not sale time. Now they drop it to $20. Usually, most of them dropped around $20 during the Barnes and Noble sale. So they do match the Barnes and Noble prices, but I don't know. It's just I can't figure out why they feel that. I mean, unless they're just not getting any deals at all from Criterion, and they actually have to sell them for $40, but that don't make any sense.
No, and I agree because with Criterion's pricing, because when I bought, like when I pre-ordered Menace to Society, I did it on Barnes and Noble because I checked the Criterion website, to see if they were doing the sale as well or if it was just Barnes and Noble. So Barnes and Noble was way cheaper, and I mean way cheaper than the actual Criterion website. I was like, damn, if they didn't have their half thing off, I would have been paying over $60 for one freaking title.
Yeah.
So I got it for a little over $30.
The only reason they must be justifying their prices is because of, I guess, putting all the work in for the special features.
Yeah.
So they usually do have a lot of features and the transfers and things. But the thing is Arrow has similar prices, to be perfectly honest, at least on Amazon.
I was about to say, because like this, for example, because this is Arrow right here. This was about 30-ish bucks, But the reason why is because, one, you have 2 discs in here. You have a 4K of... Here, let me open it. Because you have one that's just the movie, and then you have one that's a bonus disc with features. And then you get these little cards, like, memorabilia type of stuff.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you get... Let me get this stuff. You get... Damn it. But you get, like, this little poster thing right here. This is just... Here, let me... It's not big, but it's that right there.
Yeah.
It's a graboid. And then you've got this on the other side. So you could choose whatever side you want.
Yeah.
And then there's an actual poster. And this guy is actually decent in size to where I could frame it if I want to. That side.
Yeah.
Or that side.
Yeah, that's pretty good, heavy, like kind of semi card stock too. It's not it's not a glossy poster.
Yeah, and then you've got the actual, like, say, book, like a little behind-the-scenes directorial, whatever type of book there is, just pictures, and that's why theirs cost that much.
Yeah, well, a lot of the Criterion have that have a book with them and things like that as well. Not all of them, not just a regular release, but they do have some. Sometimes there'll be multiple releases of things. There'll be like like I was talking about earlier with the re-releases. They'll have kind of like the regular single disc release that'll have the movie and normal extra features, and then they'll release a multiple disc set that has a booklet and maybe an extra disc with even more features on it.
Yeah.
And usually most of the time I just go for the regular release to get the movie. The movie's usually what I want, unless the extra features are extraordinary. See, that's really why I'm rebuying Citizen Kane. I may not rebuy it if they didn't have but it has a bunch. It has like a whole new documentary on there that's not been seen before, and
nice.
Even though that there's a documentary, it comes with like all of the other Citizen Kanes. It's called The Battle Over Citizen Kane, and it's an amazing documentary. But it's not coming with a Criterion, and I imagine it was a rights issue. They probably couldn't release it because all these others, the DVD and Blu-ray, are not Criterion. So I assume when Criterion picked up the rights, they weren't able to get that they weren't able to pick up that documentary with it.
Did you ever get the Outsiders 4K?
No.
I did, and it looks good.
They're pretty good, is it?
Looks good, but the audio mixing could have been better because, like, dialogue, was decent, but like with your music scoring stuff and sound effects were way overbearing to where it would drown out dialogue. That's where they messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Trying to think of anything recently. I didn't care much for the music, but I don't. I never did buy that. What was that movie by? Everybody's complaining about the audio mix in it. Well, there was that crap. I can't think of the name of it now. The guy did Batman, the Christopher Nolan movie that came out last year or whatever.
Oh, Tenet.
Tenet, yeah. Everybody was complaining about the audio mix in that, and I never have seen that. It's not that
I
I don't
haven't
really
either.
want to. I just haven't seen it.
Well, Tenet, I think, is also one of those Black Friday deals on Best Buy where it's like $9.99, I think, too.
Might have to look for that one, maybe. I've
Yeah,
heard
so
some
when we
good
get off
things
here,
about
I would
it,
say
but
look on the app.
yeah, definitely. I will.
I notice whenever I pre-order my movies, though, with Best Buy, or even just buy in general, when they ship it, it literally comes from your state.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like, I guess their main warehouse or whatever is in your state, I think, in Louisville.
Louisville.
Yeah.
We call it. Well, there's different pronunciations of it, but people around here call it Louisville.
Or Louisville.
I tend to try to say Louisville
Yeah.
and try to pronounce it because it's just how, because you could also, the way it's spelled, you could pronounce it Louisville, or Louisville as well if you really wanted to.
It's funny because the bass player of Five Finger Death Punch is from Kentucky as well.
Yeah.
I think from Louisville. Yeah, I think he was from there.
I think Alien Ant Farm's from Kentucky, aren't they? I think they are. I might be wrong about that. Do you remember those guys?
I remember Alien Ant Farm, but
I might be mistaken about that.
Where they came from.
I might be mistaken about that, but I always heard they were. That they weren't from Lexington though. I don't remember them being around here, but
yeah.
But oh, that was kind of funny. Earlier we were talking about the Backstreet Boys. It's kind of funny, like Kevin Richardson in the Backstreet Boys. I know him. I actually know him. He grew up. He didn't grow up in Irvin, where I'm from, but his parents moved there when he was like a teenager, and they went to like the same church as I did, and his mom actually babysat for my cousins when they were younger. I was already kind of grown by that time. It's kind of funny. I never did care much for their music at all, but I always knew him. I actually got to go to like his mom's 60th birthday party, and that's after he was already famous, and he like had this birthday party.
And who was this?
It was well, you maybe forget his name. Kevin Richardson. He's in the Backstreet Boys. He's kind of the older one.
Kevin Richardson. I don't know if I don't remember that being a name.
Yeah.
I know Nick Carter.
Nick Carter's his cousin. Remember he had a cousin that was Kevin.
Yeah, no, I'm not even familiar with that. I know he has a younger brother named Aaron Carter. Are you sure you're talking Backstreet Boys?
Yep.
Or not New Kids on the Block?
No.
Okay. Shit. I don't know. Can you type in his name?
Mm-hmm.
So I could see a picture? Kevin Richardson? Oh, I think he's considered the base of the group. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I ever really knew his name.
He was kind of a little bit old. I don't know how much older than he was. These are like some. I haven't seen him in a long time. He looks a lot older now.
Oh yeah,
obviously. But I knew him kind of growing up. They were pretty close to the family a little bit, but I never really talked to. I never talked to him though after he started doing that because he moved away like kind of after he was out of high school. It's kind of funny. He like went and worked. He moved to Florida and worked at Disney World, and he actually played. You seen the picture of him? Just imagine him playing like Aladdin. like when if he was younger. But he played Aladdin at
I could see
Disney
that.
World.
I
Yeah,
could see that getting rid of
and,
the like facial hair and with the thick
yeah,
eyebrows because Aladdin had thick eyebrows.
yeah.
So yeah, I could see him play. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I think that's kind of where he got discovered at down there, because I think Orlando's where they got discovered in that area. I think that's where that guy that's ended up scamming them, the guy that producer or the
Oh yeah, yeah. Not just them, but also in sync.
NSYNC. Yeah,
Yeah,
I,
the asshole producer guy, or yeah.
he was their manager. He was like, I think he managed both of them, and he just
Took their money. They
told,
didn't make money.
yeah, he basically said, "Oh well, I'm doing all the work for you guys, so I'm taking all your money and paying you guys crap."
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that road life's a bitch when you're a musician in general too.
Well, it's hard, especially if I don't know how it worked for them, because see, they probably didn't write any of their music, not really that I know of. They
It's
probably didn't write
usually
their
not.
music. Yeah,
It's usually not.
they
It's usually
probably
songwriters.
that's why. See, the thing is, that's why he seemed like so many people go solo, like what's his name from
Justin
NSYNC?
Timberlake.
Justin Timberlake, excuse me. That's you see them go solo because then they can make a lot of money because they can, especially if they write their music or at
Oh
least
yeah.
have some kind of cooperation where they're making all the money, because bands that because that's been the big arguments with bands over the years is, you might have one main guy that's making all the money. Like back in the '60s and stuff, you had a lot of people
Yeah.
like that. They'd be credited as a songwriter, and they're making all the money. They're making actually all the money. The other guys are getting chicken scraps because they didn't
Hmm.
write it. So a lot of bands would share the music equally, and then they're still not making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because did you see that? I think it was on Joe Rogan, but it was Steven Tyler was on Joe Rogan, and he was talking about that he didn't make he wanted to buy like this is kind of silly, but he's like, well, I wasn't able to afford to buy like a house in Hawaii until I did the whatever that show he was on, the what was that, what's that called, that singing show, The Voice or whatever he was on.
Oh, there. Well, I mean, yes, there's The Voice, but there's
He
American
was on one
Idol.
of the American Idol, wasn't it? Whatever show that he was on like that, until he did that show, he didn't make enough money to be able to afford that, because he said where they split all the money, he said, do you think, I mean, I'm sure he was probably pretty wealthy, but he said he wasn't wealthy enough to like be able to afford to buy like a really nice house in
Yeah.
Hawaii or something, which that's being kind of weird, thinking, oh well, but that's how it was. I mean, they just they split the music money 4 or 5 ways. They just don't make anything. That's why
Yeah.
they tour, because that's where all the money comes from, is touring. They don't make anything
And
on
merchandise.
albums. Yeah, yeah, touring and merchandise. But the album sales never really made artists a lot of money.
No, because stores would have their cut, and then managers and people that worked on it get their cut, and then the band gets like next to nothing almost.
Yeah, yeah. They usually have some deal where they're making so much per unit,
Oh yeah.
and it's very little too. It's probably 10 cents a unit or something crazy, or it might be more than that, $1 a unit or something, but it's very low.
Yeah. I know that we hit our 2 hour mark, so
Yeah. Well, if you're ready to get off here,
yeah, because I got to go to the bathroom and I'm hungry.
yeah, okay, I understand.
But
Well, yeah, it's been a good discussion the evening. I appreciate everybody that showed up.
oh
I think
yeah,
we had a few people. Like the counter over here, I can't really gauge. I mean, it's not accurate
yeah,
because a lot of
people
times
go in and out. Yeah,
well, a lot of times it'll show like 2 or 3 people, and then you'll go check it after, and you've had 20 or 30 people watching.
yeah.
So I'm not sure if I don't know how it works, if it shows people who are just active in the chat, or I don't know. It's weird. It's not a very good counter on
No worries.
StreamYard. So,
But
but it was fun anyways. But
oh yeah,
we get a lot of rewatches too. So
Yeah, that's true. So thanks everybody who joined us in the chat and everybody who did just kind of watched. But everybody take care, stay safe. We'll see you guys later.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Later.